after World War II in America, for starters, the country was strong and quickly developing economic success and spreading it among a wide range of the population. And for whatever reason, our generation grew up also wondering whether this economic success is beneficial for our lives, but we began to really question, is that enough? Is that sufficient to really address the most serious issues in life? We saw that there is many sufferings, and that even economic, say, comfort, we can still do things that cause ourselves and especially cause others suffering. So there must be some deeper direction to life that addresses the nature of suffering in a more profound way. And Buddha himself said, I only teach two things, the cause of suffering and the end of suffering. And so it was very timely that teachers of from Asia came to the West with that teaching. The first night, I saw Seung Sahn for the first time, and of course he's very striking as a very strong but looks very warm and friendly person, and he answered questions, and one of the questions he answered really felt like this is wisdom. He really has wisdom, and I've talked many places about that. But then the next day the retreat started, and I had an interview with him, and during the interview he said something to me. It was a little long, but I remember I suddenly thought, I've been waiting my whole life to hear that. And I really deeply felt this is what he's saying is coming from his experience. And I had the feeling he could show me the way. What am I? Don't know. Yeah, I think don't know is the heart of our teaching. His favorite teaching phrase was only go straight, don't know. When you have I know, you have stopped learning. And many times you don't even see what's right in front of you because you're holding on to this idea of what you know. And that has a huge effect on our relationship with others and with the world and with ourselves. So the real heart of Buddhist teaching is looking into what we say, I. What is that? What do I mean by that? What is that? And Seung Sahn went all around the world, always asking people, what are you? What are you? And he would often counter with other questions until finally they might say they don't know. And then he'd say, correct. Only go straight, don't know. He used this phrase, just do it, but we have to really get a subtle sense of what that actually means. How do we actually do that? And actually, he used that phrase, I think, before Nike did. And I often wondered if somebody went to some advertising guy was in a Dharma talk in New York and sort of picked that up and thought, hey, that's cool. But that's very important. We asked Sahn once, maybe some young guy sees a woman with a handbag and he grabs it and runs. He just does it. And I remember Dae Sahn said, no, that's not just do it. This man already has an idea, opposite idea. I want that. Just do it has no opposites. It's like the wind blows, the tree moves. It's being in complete harmony with the situation. And you can't do that thinking about it. You can aim yourself towards it, but you need to practice. If you have a big question and you do things together with others, you can get wisdom. Questions very important. You have to have a question in your mind, like, what is this? What am I? What is going on? And by bumping into others, if you have this questioning mind, you get wisdom. Wisdom is very important. Wisdom means the ability to actually connect with things harmoniously and function in a way that is beneficial. And the teaching is our true nature automatically does that. So it's if we stop holding many ideas, I am this, I am that, I want this, I want that, I think this is good, this is bad. These are our opinions. If we let go of those opinions, then our body and mind naturally will function like a mirror. And then this moment becomes very clear. Sky's blue, tree's green, dog goes woof woof, sugar sweet. Then one more step is, how do you use this clear moment's truth to live a correct life? How do you live in such a way that's beneficial for you and others? And that the name is wisdom. It's not something you carry around in your brain like things you learn at school. It's this ability and this direction that we can develop through inquiring and through meditation. In the early 90s, he realized that we're going to have to make our own international temple and own it. Later, he told us that one night he had a dream in which the mountain god, a very big part of traditional Korean spirituality, appeared and told him to make it on Karyong Mountain. And it took a few years to find land that had the right geomancy and that was possible to buy. In 1999, Dae Sansanim sent me to start living on the land when construction started. And actually the first thing the construction crew did is level one small area and put a container box. And I lived in the container box. And next to it was two other smaller container boxes where the work chief and the layman who oversaw the building project, two Korean guys, lived. And so that my container box was a shower and a sleeping room and a little room for an office and basically a tea and Buddha hall, very small. And so that's how the Zen Center, the Musangsa started. The first building wasn't completed for another 9 months, which was the meditation hall that has the meditation room on the second floor and a tea room and 8 bedrooms on the first floor. And so when we officially opened in March of 2000, then a bunch of Western monks and nuns, I think about 20 of us, moved into those 8 rooms, and we turned my container box into the kitchen. And that's where we have been running our 3-month retreats since then. In the meantime, we built another building, which was actually a much bigger dining room and kitchen and 2 floors of more bedrooms, 1 floor for women, 1 floor for men. And then we built the Buddha hall. And also the Mountain God Hall, which is very traditional at Korean temples. And that's, for Westerners, I say, that's for us to remind ourselves that without nature, how can we live? So whether we imagine there is a mountain god or not, we should remember that to be grateful for the mountain, the trees, the air, the water, the very things that humans need to develop a new relationship with. We've managed to do a pretty good job of making a place in Asia that also Westerners can relate to and Koreans can relate to. So I think we're definitely doing our job of trying to present something that all people who are inclined can connect with. Our vice abbot's Korean, and we have Korean monks who were Sungsan Snim students who live there, but most of them spend time in the West, and they understand our Sungsan Snim and Kwan school teaching. But we're the only center, I think, in Korea that's actually at least run by Western people.
I'm from Korea. And I was ordained in 1996 in Korea. And I'm now here practicing, and my job here is a 선원장 in Korean, which is the job in charge of Zen Center practice and also give guidance to the practitioners here.
So I come from the Czech Republic in Europe. And I actually met Korean Buddhism back in the Czech Republic, and it touched me. So somehow I like it. So I continue practice. And then when I decided to become a Buddhist monk, then automatically I thought about to come to Korea.
I'm from Poland originally, but I lived in America, so I came to Korea to become a monk.
I was born in the Czech Republic. There I started practicing Zen. Then I met the Kwan school of Zen. So later also I was in Asia. I visited Musangsa, and I wanted to practice more, find a place with strong practice where I can practice and share this practice with people. And from all the places I've visited, Musangsa seemed to be the best.
I came to Korea like 5 or 6 years ago, or some little more than 5 years. And I came to Korea because of practice.
In Eastern Europe, I think there was among young people, also maybe more in the 70s, when Sungsan Snim went there and others, there was a question about whether communism was providing a real way to address the world and a way forward. And also some of the Eastern European states had no religion, some still had all traditional religions, and just like in Western Europe, Western America, people were questioning the traditional wisdom. Poland, the enthusiasm was enormous, and it was already happening, since Santonim went there in 1978. And that enthusiasm spread through Eastern Europe. And that's still, that Eastern Europe area and even Russia is a very strong part of our school.
Inside Korea, I have not heard there is some Korean temple where a lot of foreign monastics are practicing together.
It stems from Zen Master Sungsan traveling all over the world and teaching all over the world. I met him in Poland, so there's a lot of Polish monks. But there's also monks from, Zen Master Sungsan went to many countries in Europe, in America, so people here are from all different countries. wherever he went and taught and started a Zen center and people started practicing, then some of them decided to do chulga, become sunims, and obviously they came to one place they could do it, which is Korea and Musangsa. So that's why you have the people from all over the world. You know, it's people from America, Poland, Lithuania, Russia, all over the place, and not only Sunims but also lay people who come here for practice. They come from all different backgrounds.
Of course, there's a range of reasons. One of the reasons are the teachers. One of the reasons is the team of people. One of the reasons is definitely the way Kwanum School has structured their practice and is able to connect it both with the Korean traditional Buddhism, but in a way that modern people can digest.
This temple was founded by our founding teacher, Zen Master San. So he brought here many of his international students who are still here, and somehow it became this like kind of a magnet for the other international people.
This country was entirely Buddhist for about 1,000 years and has had, even in the last 600 years, when the government wasn't Buddhist, the countryside was, and it's a huge part of the culture, even in a sense unconsciously. You know, Korean culture is basically it's native shamanism and the teachings of Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism until the recent modern era. Now, Korean people also are entering that realm that in America we were in the 50s and 60s of economic success, but is this enough? Is this the point of life? And also experiencing the dissatisfactions. Even I get this stuff, I'm not happy. What is it? What's going on? And they have that kind of questioning. And then they see Westerners who are coming to Asia to practice grandma's religion, but in a little different way, and they get curious. And they want to know, what are you doing, or why you got interested in this? And then they hear what we learned, which is much closer to the heart of Buddha's original teaching, which is learning to investigate yourself and your experience, so that your interaction in the world is based more on reality than on my own idea. Well, it's interesting how it came about, our relationship with KAIST, which is the premier science and technology school, university and graduate school, and numerous research institutes come out of there in Korea. One of the things that they wanted to do is give some exposure to these foreigners to Korean culture. And they did take them to Korean Buddhist temples, but also they felt if they came to Musangsa, and we're not that far away, maybe 20 kilometers, they can meet Western and Asian Sunims who also speak English, and who many of whom are not so removed from these young science students socially, and even come from some of their countries, and that it would be a good exposure to both a traditional aspect of Korean culture, but also as practiced by foreigners, many of whom are from the same country.
But like some temples... Okay guys, please.
I'm from El Salvador, and I'm here because I want to know more about the culture, and I just see the opportunity in this trip, so I'm here.
Yeah, we need to know what is actual Buddhism and how to make meditation.
And I'm from Norway, exchange student in Korea, and I was invited to this trip, and it's just an opportunity to see like get a taste of temple life.
My name is Lin Mei and I come from China, Beijing. And today I'm just because even in China I didn't went to any temples before, so I just have this opportunity to experience a little bit the temple life and the temple food.
Before you, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Also, if you want more cushions, it's possible. In the corner we have many. Okay. So the most important, just sit comfortable. The straight back, and we keep hands like this. And during the meditation, we keep eyes open. If you close it, it's kind of easy to fall asleep or have some imagination. What will you do tomorrow? So the best is just keep the eyes open and we just look at on the floor, like 1 meter in front of you, or also it's possible just look at straight or forward from you.
Sung Santim used to say, if you practice Zen, then if you're Christian, 100% correct Christian. If you're Jewish or Muslim or Hindu, you can do it 100% because you're getting at the root of what is a human being and understanding that very wide. And what's our job? Help others. And then we can actually live well together. And take care of others, take care of the planet, take care of everything. It's really a human choice. We have no wall, no gates. I'm not quite sure how we got our first dog, but we did get a dog as a puppy, and he had a good situation, a long run, and outside, and lots of people to have fun with, and somebody who regularly took care of him and so forth. And he became actually a great guard dog. The second dog that we have, Maya, actually was a dog that had been abandoned in the mountains, and she showed up here by herself when she was about 4 months, we think, and she had been mistreated, and we just started to feed her and let her hang around, and she seemed to like it. And then the secretary, actually, Korean secretary who worked in the office, asked if she could keep Maya in the temple, and she would be responsible. Yeah, what we have now is cats, because we're in the mountains, there's wild cats. And a mom showed up about 2 years ago pregnant, and she had her kittens underneath our outdoor refrigerator. And then she'd come to the back door and cry, so we ended up feeding her. And then as the kitten, she was comfortable having the kittens here because nobody bothered them, and she left, and so we have 4 wild cats. We did catch them and get them fixed so they don't make any more, and they live here. One left and went down to the church below us, so we say that cat converted. Dae Sansim used to say, understand my true self and help others is human beings' original job. If we realize human beings' true job, understand our true nature, which is infinite, has no life in death. Only this form is changing. Then we're, if we really realize it deeply, freed from the fear of life and death. Experiencing that, seeing that clearly in a very deep, before thinking way, naturally leads to compassion. But if we learn to put down our opinions and realize the enormity, the endlessness of our true nature, then we'll just see things, we'll reflect things as they are.